Let's translate what this exactly means for a country like Kenya, because the victory by Trump marks the beginning of another roller coaster ride in the U.S. foreign policy. The priorities may shape the relationships between the countries, especially President Trump and the global leadership as he takes over as the 47th president. Already, President William Ruto joined other world leaders in congratulating Trump while underscoring Kenya's commitment to maintaining her partnership with the United States. But what does Trump's win mean exactly to the world and specifically to Kenya? Daniel Karuki interrogates.
The global community watched and waited with bated breath as the U.S. election unfolded, ultimately seeing Donald Trump make history with a remarkable return as the 47th President of the United States. And immediately, world leaders started to realign themselves with Trump's incoming administration. Donald Trump, in his many campaigns, had already hinted of a paradigm shift from his predecessors.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country.
And now that Trump will take over, the second time will bring new challenges and global leaders will have to align with his foreign policy.
That means that people can prepare for the shifts that would happen, and just in the same way that governments and countries around the world would have to prepare for any major changes in the American political arena.
Kenya seems to have an advantage because of the location. And number one, we're not very close to the US, so we don't have an issue of Kenyans moving to the US without any kind of legality or papers and stuff like that.
President-elect Trump returns to the White House while Kenya now has a different leader, President William Ruto, who succeeded former President Uhuru Kenyatta, whom Trump engaged with during his previous term. Security has remained a cornerstone of Kenya-US relations, while outgoing President Joe Biden emphasized a combined approach to security, counter-terrorism, and development in vulnerable regions. Trump's administration may potentially reduce aid and press Kenya to increase its financial contributions. Regarding Haiti, Trump previously threatened to revoke the temporary protected status for Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, and may revisit that stance. Currently, more than 400 Kenyan police are stationed in Haiti, with the Kenyan government planning to deploy additional troops.
It's about the strategic role Kenya plays when it comes to Americans pursuing terrorists.
All those are important foreign policy decisions that have been made from the US, which obviously might come into question now that Trump is heading back to the White House. So
Kenya may also see a new U.S. ambassador under Trump's administration, as he is expected to appoint new representatives in key collaborative regions. While Biden's administration's emphasized governance, human rights, and economic reforms in its Kenya relations, Trump's approach may be more business-oriented.
While the Biden-Harris administration has preferred the kind of multilateral arrangements when it comes to issues of trade, the Trump administration before and largely Republicans tend to favor, but in particular, this is something strong for Trump. He tends to favor bilateral arrangements.
Kenya will remain a close U.S. partner. However, areas of focus and cooperation will ultimately hinge on the priorities set by Trump's administration. Daniel Karuki, KTN News.